Hi everyone, my name is Xolani, piano teacher at Ross Howard Music. Today I'll be briefly reading to you the history of Randburg and of Olivedale. The fascinating history of Randburg, as seen on the Heritage Portal website. The earliest inhabitants of the era now called Randburg were tribesmen roaming the open veldt. Examples of their Iron Age craftsmanship can still be found on some of the local copies. Little is known of the culture and history of these early people. What we call history, that is what is documented and recorded, starts in Randburg in the middle of the last century. In the 1850s, 4 farms were settled by Boer pioneers. These were called Klipfontein, Driefontein, and Levenshoutsport and Baskop, and were later subdivided among the sons of the farmers, as was the usual tradition. The original farm Driefontein extended from the northern boundary of Bryanston to the present Braamfontein. It was later subdivided into 9 plots by his sons. Charles Rocher, a Frenchman from Bordeaux, bought one of the sections and named it after his mother town. He was one of the early pioneers of the Cape deciduous farming on the Transvaal. Some of the older plots in the area still have fruit trees growing in groves. A portion of the Boskop farm was bought by a famous Rand entrepreneur, Dale Lace, who converted a farmhouse into a country residence, as was the style of the time. In 1929, Tom Kelly restored the home and named it Haymany. With the discovery of gold, Randburg became fashionable as an investment for rich English gentlemen like Abe Bailey. Street names like Carlton Road, Church Street, and Pritchard Street sprang up in the veldt. Perhaps it was rumors of gold that caused the purchases, or it could have been the fabulous hunting that existed in Randburg. Antelopes and birds teemed the hills and valleys, and the name Hunter's Hill bears witness to these early, never-to-be-repeated times when game was plentiful in this corner of Gauteng. A major influx to Randburg came with the Great Depression of 1928 to 1934 and the crippling drought which lasted 4 years. Thousands of plat land farmers flocked to the city, but many preferred the rural areas and settled in Randburg. These pioneers constructed their own homes without any assistance from the state. Life was simple and unhurried, and there was plenty of food for the pot. Development began in 1950, when there were less than 9,000 inhabitants in Randburg. 10 years after, there were 13 townships, a newspaper called Noord Nuus, and shops and businesses were opening a space. With development came the question of municipal status. Should Randburg be part of Old Johannesburg or not? In 1959, the name of Randburg was decided by means of competition. Other names submitted were Ferrydale, Ego, and Zuriel, and Randburg was inaugurated as municipality. In 1968, Johannesburg put forward the idea of incorporating Randburg into its municipal boundaries, but Randburg remained independent, and today its jurisdiction is almost 100 square kilometers. In 1972, the town council set guidelines for the development of townships, residential areas, the CBD, and industrial areas. The success of this plan is seen in the development of Randburg, undoubtedly a boom town with tremendous future. Plenty has changed since this article was published. The reason why we're telling you in the history of Randburg and the stories of Randburg is because Ross Howard Music is based in Olivedale. Now, Olivedale is another suburb which is also based within the region of Randburg. Now, with me, I have the history of Olivedale, which is written by the Olivedale Retirement Village, the history of Olivedale. The township of Olivedale, part of Olivenhoutsport, was developed on the Amsterdam estate, which was established in 1943 by Mr. H. Messias, a diamond dealer who immigrated from Holland before the Second World War. He established a free-range chicken farm and planted an orchard of 50,000 peach trees. His house and surrounding structures were built by Italian prisoners of war who were obtained from Zonderwater prisoner of war camp. Irrigation was established for the peach trees for a borehole, which required a source of power. What could be more appropriate to a native of Holland than a Dutch windmill? The Italians constructed the windmill using a magazine picture as their guide. Yes, a magazine picture as their guide. This windmill was declared a national monument in 1989. It can be seen at 22 Patrick Street, Olivedale today. Thanks to Brian Appleton, published in Olive's News, June of 2015.